Good day, everyone. My name is Gemma Reducto, and I will discuss about Chapter 3, Intents and Services. What is intent? Intent is an application is do something. An intent service is a subclass of service in Android that is used to handle asynchronous requests expressed as intents. On demand, it runs in the background and stops itself once it has processed all the intents that were sent to it. And this is the example of intent, this picture. Next. Next is types of intents. One of the types of intents is the explicit intents, used to launch a specific component like activity or a service. Other than that, explicit intents are communicated between two activities inside the same application. We can use the explicit intents when we need to move from one activity to another activity. And this is the example of explicit intent. This one is the example in the photo of this. Next, in type of intent is implicit intent. Specifies an action that can invoke an app on the device that can perform the action. Anyway, implicit intent is communicated between two activities of an application. One thing to note here is we should not name a specific component in piece, a specific component in place rather, or that we can declare a general action to perform which allows a component from another app to handle it. Next, and this is the example of implicit intent. Next, how intents are received. Till now we have seen how intents are used to invoke some other components. Now, let's explore how these components receive these intents. Receiving implicit intents, receiving explicit intents. Explicit intents are directly delivered to target as intent. Has the target component class specified in it. Next topic is characteristics of mobile application. First is the less power. Less power is the first characteristic of mobile application, which less power, CPU, memory, and battery. Mobile apps are relatively small in size by lines of code, therefore require less disk space. Mobile phones are still weaker than personal computers as they usually have less memory and weaker CPUs, which drain faster when used for longer durations. That's for less power. Next is input mechanism. First thing, you need to decide which input mechanisms you want to cover in your application out of mouse, keyboard, finger touch, and so on. Once you decided the input mechanism, you can control them using tools offered by the web platforms or JavaScript libraries. And that's for input mechanism. Third is screen size and form factor. Screen size and form factor, according to what I searched, Support to the different screen sizes enables the greatest numbers of users and widest variety of devices to access your app. To support as many screen sizes as possible, design your app layouts to be responsive and adaptive. Responsive and adaptive layouts provide an optimized use experience regardless of screen size, enabling your app to accommodate phones, tablets, foldables, Chrome OS devices, portrait, and landscape orientations, and resizable configurations such as multi-window mode. A form factor also refers to the size, configuration, or physical arrangement of a computing device. And next is startup time. Startup time to help gain deeper visibility into your Android and iOS application, performance and crash troubleshooting. You can also monitor the time it takes for your app to launch. With the abundance of high quality apps in the marketplace, users have become very sensitive to app launch time and have very high expectations. Next is the physical parameters. For the physical parameters such as illumination, noise, temperature, and humidity, vibration, and motion, etc. of mobile users' environments are extremely variable, limiting or excluding one or more modalities, unlike desktop computers. Next is device fragmentation. Mobile device fragmentation is a process that happens when some mobile users are using the older version of an operating system while other users are using newer versions. Next is characteristics related to software. A mobile application is a small software program which is mainly developed for mobile phones. Mobile apps have some peculiar characteristics which are concerned with particular aspects in the form of requirement pertaining to hardware, software, and network connectivity. Designing an appropriate mobile app according to users' perspective depends on the mobile app characteristics. Next is application interaction. It allows professionals to capture, view, and utilize contact data and carry out essential client service and business development activities on the go. That's for application interaction. And next is user experience. User experience, mobile UX, is the subjective experience a user has with a mobile app. UX designers are tasked with crafting products that are not only enjoyable to use, but also deliver a pertinent and impactful experience for users. Next is interaction with information sources. For a native mobile app requires interaction with information sources for data transfer. It must communicate with predefined content and data sources to fetch information and returns results. Next one is integration with other apps. Mobile app-to-app integration is the process of interconnecting one app to another app for optimizing and exchanging verified data via API. Triggers in one app drive actions in another. Data from one is mapped and transferred to the other. Next is action feedback. Action feedback in app feedback provides app marketers and developers with essential information regarding the user experience. When used in tandem with behavioral data, your feedback often a glimpse into the decision-making process of users in regard to in-app actions such as purchase decisions, charm, new feature adoption, and much more. Next one is error notification. Mobile apps have become an integral part of our lives, and we rely on them for various purposes. However, with the increasing complexity of mobile apps comes a higher possibility of errors and crashes. These errors can affect user experience negatively and lead to low ratings or even an installation of if not handled correctly. That's for error notification. Next is application development. Mobile application development is the process of creating software applications that run on a mobile device, and the typical mobile application utilizes a network connection to work with remote computing resources. Hence, the mobile development process involves creating installable software bundles such as code, binaries, assets, and etc. Implementing background services such as data access with an API and testing the application on target devices. Next is application focus. In today's world where everyone uses smartphones, it's crucial for businesses to focus on mobile apps rather. To grow and succeed, mobile apps can reach a large number of users, improve the user experience, make your brand more visible, and keep customers engaged and loyal. Next is experience resource. Delivering a great user experience is vital. This starts with understanding that your user interface for a mobile app should be simpler than a desktop application interface. By creating a straightforward UX design that is focused on critical functions, you can provide a better user experience while consuming fewer resources. And that's for experience resource. Next is convenience. Yes, convenience. Mobile apps can be downloaded and installed on a device, allowing users to access the app's functions and services at any time from anywhere. Next one is responsiveness. A, res- a responsiveness, a responsive rather, app enables users to have a better experience irrespective of the device, OS, screen size, orientation, and browser platform. These apps are styled using an inline style different layouts, and flexible image to ensure consistent UX. Next one is personalization. App personalization is the process of using customer data to shape an app's user experience UX. With app personalization, you design an app for a specific user instead of giving all users the same generic experience. Last one is the localization. Yeah. App localization is the process of adapting your app and its app store listing to appeal to different geographic target markets. It's absolutely necessary if you want to take your mobile app or game global. And that's the last one. And this is all. Thank you.